I'm holding my bladder. Let's get at her.
Okay. Awesome.
Program the computer.
Check.
We create a mental atmosphere.
Check.
Fear not, my friends. This will be my greatest performance.
Give it to me.
Here we go. We came, we saw, we kicked it.
Oh, we kicked it right into Father's Day weekend. Welcome, everybody. It's Mornings on the Beach with your hosts right here. I'm Danny Lemos. And today on the show, American military members get honest about Marines being deployed to L.A. We'll get into that coming on up. And over there to my left.
My name is Mike Stark, and this week we lost two major musical icons.
And over here, we've got...
I'm Melanie Ray, and WTF, right?
That's a good way to put it. What we're about to get into. We got a special guest on the show. He'll be coming up in our second segment. Stay right here. We want to delve into all things about his show here on KLBP. That's a little tease for you. But let's start with this weekend, right? Here we are in the middle of June. And if you're listening on Saturday, today's the president's birthday and the birthday of the Army. One of them has a birthday.
Army.
And
it's Flag Day.
that's true. It's also my brother-in-law's birthday. It's my dad's birthday. It's all kinds of birthdays. But my brother-in-law and my dad aren't having a parade, a military-style parade in Washington, D.C., and that's going on today. But people decided to celebrate with the president in a different way, with these protests that are going on around the country on Saturday called the No King's Day protests. And this is about making sure that we don't have authoritarian ruler here in this country, though it may seem so at the moment.
Yep.
Doesn't it?
It might be too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, but there's that going on. And so of course, he's already afraid that people are going to break up his little birthday party. So he's threatening to use force against Americans who would protest.
Right.
And I don't have to remind anybody listening that you have First Amendment right to protest however you see fit. And
As long as it's not violent.
yes, and I gotta say that to that end, I'd like to, if I may, play a little bit of this here for you. That's the sound from the streets this week here in town. This specifically was on Tuesday night last. When we were out on the streets, we saw a protest coming towards us, and we stopped. Boomer, myself, and Pat, we just stopped walking and decided to tape the crowd. And I didn't expect what happened to me during this time. And that is that as it got louder and as people got closer, my spirit started to rise up in my heart.
Yeah.
I felt like I want to be part of this. This was expressing the way I've been feeling all week long.
Yeah.
And so for those of you, including my neighbor I was walking with, I said, let's walk with them. She goes, no, I don't want to do that. But then we got carried away in the spirit. Because it does, when people are out there expressing themselves clearly, and you feel the same way, it sweeps you along.
Well, and it's hope.
And it is.
If you had no hope, you wouldn't be out there protesting.
Precisely, and it did. I was unprepared for that response. So, looking forward to maybe some upcoming you know
For
what
today, now.
What I thought would be great would be if you were out in public, if the entire citizenry went out together remember during COVID how we did this at 8 o'clock every night?
Oh, yeah, right.
What if we
Yeah.
did that on one specific time and went out into the streets together in silence? Would that freak them out? I think so.
Absolutely, especially if you walked out of your job. Like if if everybody just walked out the door, stood outside for 5 minutes or something.
No
some significant
shouting,
number.
no F words, just
Right.
silence to let people know how we feel.
Not that there's anything wrong with the F word.
No, and it was used quite literally.
Don't use it here.
I'm not.
For the recording you're hearing under this, I had to edit. Because
No doubt.
There were hundreds of F-bombs being dropped and signs, but for the most part, everyone's so well organized.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up the fact that the Long Beach Police Department, after this event took place, issued a press release. And I'll read a little of it. Earlier this evening, the Long Beach Police Department facilitated peaceful First Amendment activities in the Civic Center Plaza area and remained focused on ensuring the safety of both our community and those participating in the demonstration.
Right on.
While the demonstration remained peaceful, there were brief traffic disruptions in the area surrounding Ocean Boulevard and Chestnut Avenue. The Long Beach Police Department fully supports the right to peaceful protest.
Woo.
We thank everyone
them.
who exercised their rights responsibly.
And when Mike first told me about this, I told him my experience being out there was watching them. The police in twos were on their motorcycles, but around the corner, not on Ocean, around the corner, staying back, holding back, and smiling at everybody. You know, they were great, I got to say.
Yeah.
And I was proud of the people that were organizing the march. They were the ones in front. And I thought to myself, why are they covering their faces? Well, because these are people that could be picked up off the street and identified.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they're leading it. And one of the main guys was leading it, urging people to come on back onto the sidewalk. We're not supposed to be in the streets. That's not what we're here for. We're not going to hurt anybody. They had one altercation with a car, but it was because the guy was so confused because suddenly he's surrounded by everybody.
Right.
He had to
Right.
figure out how to get out
Well,
of there.
you know, and it's Southern California. There's an altercation with a car every 10 seconds. It's just like you can't
I'm proud of
avoid
us.
it.
And I want to continue it. We cannot be
Absolutely.
silent. We absolutely not. And I saw your post, Melanie, on Facebook this morning, too, about just making sure you're just keeping it going. You're talking about it. You're
Yeah,
using
well,
your
what I
voice.
was talking about was my daughter graduates from Renaissance High School tomorrow, and she called me on the verge of tears because I'm a teacher, and she asked me, can schools protect kids from ICE? Well, in the old days, yes. You know, there's
Yeah.
certain places that were safe from raids, and schools was one of them because they want you to send your children to school, so they maintained a safe space. But I had to tell my daughter, this is a whole new game. I don't know who can protect us. And she said that she has friends who are going to graduate and their parents can't be there because they're afraid. Because there was a high school in Huntington Park where ICE was waiting outside of a graduation ceremony. And that is so cowardly and
so bad.
abhorrent.
Absolutely.
And that's your fearless leader. That's our fearless leader.
You know who I feel sorry for a lot, and a lot of people don't feel sorry for him. They lump him in with everybody else. But as I have a brother that was a law enforcement officer, so I can appreciate what's going on. But I have sympathy for the National Guard people and the Marines that were brought in.
Oh, yeah.
On their own. You know, they were ordered to come in.
Yep.
Right.
And here they are, face to face with fellow citizens, having to deal with this. It's got to play games with their brains.
Well,
a little
Yeah,
bit.
they didn't enlist to fight their
Exactly.
neighbors.
Yeah.
Especially the Marines.
Absolutely.
And thanks to the young reporters who were out there from BuzzFeed, we know how they feel. They went and talked to them because they couldn't talk to the press, obviously, because they don't want to be identified. Let me read some of them for you. This one here, former Army, is what he says first. Unrest is when the citizens are trying to send a message to the government. Using troops against your citizens is the government's way of not listening. So that great. Marine here. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Iraq vet. I definitely do not agree with using the Marines. Hopefully they used MPs trained with riot training, but using infantry to do police work is not smart. It's like trying to use an attack dog to herd sheep. What do you think of those teenagers are going to do when somebody starts throwing rocks at them? He's talking about the Marines who are teens,
Right.
18,
Right.
19 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think they're going to do, right?
Yeah.
Here's one. USAF veteran, we swear an oath to the Constitution, not to any regime, party, or person. These are military that are there on the streets right now. This is how they feel. Yeah. And this is my favorite. Trump is creating his Reichstag fire.
Absolutely.
Look for it if you don't know
Yes.
what we're talking about. The Reichstag is when they burned down the Reichstag government building, which housed the German parliament in 1933. And the origins of the fire remain unclear, but it became propaganda for Hitler's takeover of the government.
Well, this morning they were saying that the admin is saying that the protesters are funded by a foreign power, and when you see the real pictures of what's going on, it's just horrifying to
Right.
see.
And then, of course, to be honest and fair, one veteran, only one out of the 44 they talked to, said, Army veteran, SoCal native here, glad to see the president not allowing California to burn to the ground. Everyone knows the governor wasn't going to intervene, but because there was no fire and California wasn't burning to the ground. This is what I'm thinking. What's wrong? But,
Yeah, I also wanted to add, I gave credit to the National Guard and the Marines, but we also need to give credit to our local police, like the Long
I
Beach
agree,
Police,
yes.
Yeah.
who are having to clean up the chaos that's being created from Washington.
Right.
They're having to make sure that the city still is peaceful and in spite of all of this, and for the most part, they have done a tremendous job. The local sheriff's department has been amazing, and the Long Beach, the LAPD has been really great too. So
Well, and it keeps the police from doing their real job, being out all over the city and protecting people and robberies and all this stuff. And now they're at protests that are created by this force,
Absolutely. And what I'm liking about this is that the voice is being out there. It's being spoken. Nobody's staying silent. And if you need to add your voice to that, I recommend it. I recommend if you're sitting at home stewing, get out. And maybe if you don't have to participate, watch. Just get around
Well,
it.
what I did is my family is very progressive, but they live in states that are not. So I was sending pictures and local articles to people I know out of state and saying, please tell your friends, tell your potential Trumper friends, this is not happening. What they're saying is happening. What they're saying is happening is not happening. LA is not on fire.
Reached out to my friends in North Carolina this morning because they were saying, I hope you're okay. I'm like, for heaven's sakes,
Nothing's-
there's
are you
nothing going
kidding?
on here. What? Look at my Facebook. It's fine.
See, last time the Lakers won a championship.
Really?
that's
huh?
a different thing.
Come on. And I was, a friend of mine works in the World Trade Center downtown Long Beach, and she took a picture of the protesters down at the Civic Center, and there was probably 100 people. It didn't seem that big. And then on the roof of a building above them was about 15 to 20, I don't know if they're military or National Guard or what, but snipers, guns around their shoulder, just watching the crowd below, which was like 100 people. Long Beach protests don't get don't get that wild.
Shout out to my friend Dave Clark, who posted the amount of tension, a sort of a scale of tension in LA.
I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Top of the list, overcrowded Trader Joe's parking lot.
Right.
And at the bottom, all the protests from this past week. Because really, it ain't a big deal. If you're listening to we live here. It's not a big deal.
No, but they own the media, right? So
that's true.
there's one car on fire, and you see that same image 100 times, and and you think that that's the whole city.
Yeah. It's Mornings on the Beach, and we're going to turn real quickly. We lost two legendary musicians.
Yeah.
Let's do one now here, and this is
let's and we'll talk a little bit about this in the next segment because we've got an oldies expert here.
Perfect.
Oh,
segue.
cool.
Right? So, but we did lose two major, and I'm talking major
Right.
icons in the music industry from the 60s. We lost Sly and the Family Stone, amazing band. Everybody was influenced by him. You look at Prince, that's Sly. You look at all these artists today, and there's a little bit of Sly there, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, we lost the great Brian Wilson, who, that is the whole beach scene. But Brian Wilson was far more than just surf music. If you've delved into his music.
Or watched any of the documentaries about the Beach Boys, how much he influenced me.
Right.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
This is great. But Sly Stone was the one who influenced me in 8th grade. I remember dancing to this next song at my 8th grade party when I graduated, and it was probably one of the first R&B songs I owned on a 45.
Let's listen.
It's Mornings on the Beach on your Saturday, Sunday morning here on KLBP with Danny Lemos.
Mike Stark.
Melanie Ray.
And in studio,
Yeah, baby.
we have a very special guest.
That's what I'm talking about.
Part of the family. So we invited him to come down and talk to us here about his show, about his career, because I find you amazing that you, in a sense, have a new life, a new career.
A new career.
Who is this guy?
His name is Mike Anthony, and he hosts the Heart and Soul of Rock and Roll right here on KLBP. And one of the first interactions I had ever with somebody wanting to be a DJ, and all of a sudden you're here on the air. But start at the beginning. How did you get involved in music as a kid?
Okay, and music as a kid. Okay, well, as a little kid, okay, the first song, I remember this clearly, okay, it was I was at my grandmother's house in San Pedro, and she had this big hi-fi, right?
Uh-huh.
And the song Blue Moon by the Marcells was playing on. And the bomb, dag, dag, dag.
Oh, wow.
That was the first rock and roll song I ever heard. I don't know how old, maybe 3, 4. And so I just started listening to music like that. My parents listened to that, oldies. Well, they weren't really oldies then.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, my family did. I mean, we're Italians, man. We come from San Pedro. So, we always listened to that stuff. KRLA was a 1110
yeah.
KRLA
Yeah, right.
was a big influence in my life. I liked Art LeBeau. Wolfman Jack, of course, is my favorite disc jockey in the world. But, Huggy Boy, all of them, man. They were just great. Humble Harv, okay? You remember
Of
Humble
course,
Harv?
yeah. Of
course.
Humble Harv Miller. The burn, right? He used to do that. Right?
Isn't he the one that shot his wife?
Yeah, he's the one that shot his wife.
It was an accident.
You're right. I don't know why that always comes up.
It was a passion killing,
Okay.
if we're going to get into it.
Put her out of her misery. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Where'd we go?
I'm just kidding. Melanie, calm down, Melanie. Don't hit me.
Chick in the room. Chick in the
Well,
room.
then you actually, your career wasn't at first music, right? You
No,
went into
no.
a whole different career.
Well, when I was in my young 20s, okay, there was the Righteous Brothers Hop in Fountain Valley, and I grew up in Orange County. I liked oldies. I went in there one night, and it was a Thursday night, and there was a DJ in there. His name was Dennis. Real good guy. He was more of an entertainer, really. And I went up to him and I asked him, I said, hey, look, Dennis, I'd really like to learn how to be a disc jockey in the nightclub. And he told me to come back on the next Thursday. And he took me under his wing, showed me how to cue up records, showed me how to talk on the mic, showed me everything, right? And boy, I'll tell you what, that was a magical time in my life because I got to play the music I loved.
Wow.
And it was just fun. The red neon lights in there, and it was great. And then the Lakewood Hop came along. That one there, I did that for a little bit. Yeah.
I remember that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. And that one there, we could play disco music in. Okay, which I liked.
I'm sorry.
And so, yeah, I love. Oh no! Disco
Sorry.
was so popular.
You're
okay?
right.
It got a bad rap. Okay.
So you did
Mike's
this.
not sold.
Were you doing this as your full-time job?
This one here now, the Heart and Soul.
No.
Oh
Being
no!
At the Hop.
No! Back then, I worked in a rental car industry. I was a manager at a rental car agency, so I did that on the
By
side.
day,
Yeah.
but by night.
And then I became a Los Angeles police officer.
That's a switch.
Yeah, really, huh? But my dad was too. So,
Oh, got it. It's in the
and
family.
Then I retired as a sergeant in 2019, and I did retirement things, for 5 years, right?
No kidding.
Yeah, I did retire, mowed the lawn, wash the car.
Did you go fishing?
Watch paint dry.
Yeah, really. So then fast forward to
Beekeeping.
I grow plants though. I did do that.
Yeah.
Basil.
good
I
for
got
you.
those kind of plants.
Yeah.
He said former cop.
Herbs.
But then, fast forward to the KLBP Producers Workshop in January of this past year.
That's right. So
It was only then. I'm thinking, wow, that's recent. You walked in, and what happened?
Right. So I had a friend who knew David Alpern, okay?
One of our board of directors.
He invited me to go to this workshop, okay? She told him that I liked oldies and stuff. So I didn't want to go there unprepared. I didn't know what to expect to, going to this. I didn't want to show up and go, So I made a demo CD for you guys. And I saw you and I said, hey, sir, here's this demo and you took it from me, and then I didn't hear from you, and then I was worried because I was oh no, it's on WAV format, it's not on MP3 because you said you were going to listen to it in the car.
And it's true. Mike's is the second CD. I own a car that's 10 years old. The second CD I've ever listened to was his CD. And I left the parking lot of the workshop, and by the time I got home, maybe 17 minutes later, I knew I wanted you on staff. I knew this guy's got it. You had it. It was there on the audio file. You could hear it, and I thought, wow, let's give him a chance. And so normally what happens is we tell people, come on, join us, and then we never hear from them again. But that wasn't the case with you. And I say this because an example of, if you're listening now,
Yep.
you can get on here, right?
Right.
Yeah,
it's possible.
You follow the steps and you just do what we ask, and boom, you get a slot. You've got two at once. You got 2 hours, right?
2 hours.
Yeah,
yes.
that's great. And that's an excellent show.
I thought about 1 hour, but I'm having so much fun that I'm like,
It
no.
goes fast.
Yeah.
The hour goes fast.
It really does. And I'm so impressed that you took almost no time to get started and get your show on the air. and they develop a following. You know, Mike and I were both talking how we both listen to your show every Saturday morning.
That's great.
Usually
Yeah.
I'm cleaning my house and listening. On Sunday mornings, I food prep listening to Mike's show, and I want to get him a second hour because food prep takes a long time.
Yeah, right.
The show's over before I'm even done.
Before we throw him out of here, let's talk a little bit about the two icons we lost over the last
for
week.
sure.
Any thoughts on Sly and Brian Wilson?
Oh well, Sly and the Family Stone. I mean, had some great music there. I play them all the time. So listen, and Brian Wilson. Okay, the Beach Boys are my favorite band in the world. Okay, and they just are. And Brian Wilson, he was so great, and he was a genius when it came to music. I mean, he could look. You remember those 1960s like weird pictures and signs? He could look at a picture like that, and he could make a song out of it. He could go, okay, I want the music would sound like this by just looking at that photo, and that's pretty impressive right there.
I was hooked. I love harmonies. I love rhythm.
It's the harmonies,
and
Right.
God only knows, when I first heard that song, it stopped me. I remember where I was when I first heard that song. Whoa! I had to go find out what that was. Amazing. He changed music in so many ways.
Right.
Just his mind was amazing. Did you ever get a chance to see him in person?
I saw him perform after the Beach Boys. He did some tours on his own. Of course, I always point to Brian Wilson as an example of the good things that come from the use of LSD.
I was going to say that.
and
He's right.
the bad things that come
Well,
from
that
the
too.
use of LSD.
Yeah.
It was all wrapped up into one guy right there, because obviously the drug experience helped him creatively, but in his later years, it was a blank stare all the time from him.
Yeah, and he also suffered from Alzheimer's, right?
Yeah, I think at the end, yeah.
Deterioration, but amazing. I remember that was my group when I was in grade school and then high school. Amazing. We felt like we were connected because they were here.
The interesting thing about the Beach Boys too is that we grew up on the West Coast, and it seems natural that we would love the Beach Boys. But I have so many friends that grew up in Michigan and places in the Midwest that the Beach Boys meant so much to them because of that dream,
Right.
that California dream.
Right. And what did that include? A Mustang and a girl in a bikini.
Exactly.
To me, that was it. That was the
take
beach.
much.
Back then it didn't.
No, it's really great.
Yeah, well, Brian Wilson, and the Beach Boys, they're definitely America's band, in my opinion, and then, that's the way I feel about them. They're just a great band.
We're going to play some of his music on the way out of the show today, so stick around. But in the meantime, we got something from another artist that we want to play.
Yeah, this is another guy that we lost way too soon, Tom Petty, and he's doing a song that I'm sure Mike plays on his show, but not this version. This is Tom Petty doing the...
Another great version of another great song, Tom Petty. Wow.
Yeah, Tom Petty. They released, that's, I think, a live version that was done at the Fillmore. He did a bunch of shows at the Fillmore a few years back before he passed, and he did a lot of covers. And that was one of the covers he did on those series of shows. Something in the Air, which is a great song anyway. Does a pretty fair cover of it.
And now Mike's got to get out of here. We want to say goodbye. By the way, thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, you're welcome, everybody. It was a lot of fun.
You got to get ready for your show.
Right. Hey, remember something, though. If you listen to the heart and soul of rock and roll, okay, these stars and these artists, they may pass away, but they're still in their youth and cranking out the hits, okay? Remember that one.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Great, thank you.
Make Music Day is the international celebration of music happening in over 1,000 cities in 120 countries. Check out what's happening in Long Beach for our celebration at makemusicday.org/Long Beach. Participating venues include Jewel Box Studio, the Long Beach Family Arts Festival, the Footwork Records, the Wicked Wolf, Old Dubliner, the Dave Islands Instruments, Port City Tavern, the 39th Plaza at Belmont Brewery, ISM, and we have Long Beach Beer Lab, Zaffaria. And if you want to find out what's happening at those events, check out makemusicday.org/Long Beach.
99.1 FM in downtown Long Beach and streaming at klbp.org. This is KLBP Long Beach Public Radio.
This morning's on the beach. Danny Lemos right here.
Mike Stark.
Melanie Ray.
Mike Melanie. I'm in studio with David Sauer, and David is involved with Make Music Long Beach. What's your official capacity, David?
Hey, everybody. My official capacity, well, I took over as coordinator of
go.
Make Music Long Beach. Coordinator.
Now, this is part of a bigger event, right? This is the Long Beach contingent?
This is the Long Beach chapter of the International Make Music Day. This is a crazy event. It's celebrated in over 1,000 different cities and 120 different countries. I am not kidding.
I had no idea it was that big. I thought it was
huge.
nationwide.
It's been 40 years running, my friend.
Oh, that's
40 years
wild.
running.
And we're just catching up with it now.
Kind of. Long Beach has had a chapter in some form or another over the last 5-6 years. I think is biggest, in my opinion, in 2018-19. There was 150 artists in about 70 different venues citywide. And then pandemic hit, and then we kind of went a little dormant, and we had some things pop up here and there. But I don't think as big as the 2018-19 push. And so, I saw the opportunity, and I wanted to bring it back for 2025 and bring it forward into the future and make it bigger than ever.
That's great. Yeah. So for those people who've never heard of it before, what goes on?
Anything and everything music. This is a day to celebrate music in any way, shape, or form. The concept at a core is free to the public performances citywide. So that can be the classic setup of having bands in a venue. You'll probably see that as the most common one. But there's a lot of special events that are happening as part of the Make Music Day as a whole. For example, if you go to makemusicday.org, the overall website for the event, you'll see different things like circle singing, where they kind of have different things pop up throughout the different areas. Big groups of people get together, led by a different person, and kind of like a big choir in a group. Someone leads. And then we have, let's see what else. There is a flower pot music design where people write music pieces to be played upon flower pots, and they hand out mallets. And so you're supposed to hit and can create this. Someone made up this great great program involved around paper and the concept of you can make music with anything, and a piece of paper is something that's perfect for this. So by using a piece of paper, you can rip it, crumple it, crinkle it, fold it, and make all these different types of noises. Right. So the concept is, what can you perform as a group with just a piece of paper? The celebration of making music is all about this day. Performers and artists and anyone can do anything, like I said, doing the classic venue and band performance. If you want to participate on your own terms, open up your garage and sing the
no kidding.
Sing the ABCs, scream the ABCs on the hour every hour. That's your prerogative, and that's the idea of you making music. Right. If you have a kazoo marching band, take it down the street, go through your neighborhoods. Anything about making music is just here to celebrate.
That sounds great. So it's much bigger than I thought in just the idea behind it all, and all the different ways you can make music. Never thought of that. I've thought of bands and guitarists and the traditional stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the easiest for everyone in the city to kind of to swallow in terms of what it could be. But the weird events are what kind of draws me to this program. The fact that you can go out and do things in the middle of a field with a bunch of musicians.
Wow,
just to do it.
That would be awesome. I'm beginning to think of somebody I saw yesterday on one of the reels on Instagram.
Yeah.
They were doing the Can You Hear the People Sing from Les Mis, but they were doing it on a pig piano. And by that, I meant clay jars, pigs filled up with different water levels. It was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So something like that would be like, hey, whoever does that, find yourself a venue, set it up, and make it open to the public. It's free. And then we'll just do the promo for it. And then all of a sudden you have this really cool, crazy, weird event in your city.
Now that sounds like, it'd be hard to get connected. But I found it relatively easy based on what I found at your website. Yeah. So artists and venues, you're connecting them. Explain more about that.
Yeah, so they the Make Music Day Alliance, they have this program called Gemini. And basically it's a matchmaking system for both venues and musicians. This is something where you can sign up, fill out all your information, your preferred, as a venue, your preferred time of day, and your genre preferences for your specific venue. As a musician, you can put in all your social medias, put in your YouTube links and your performances, your notes, and you ideally match up with the venue. It's a way to kind of connect the city to different members and whatnot.
It's hard to do that on your own if you're running around talking to people or you don't have contact phone numbers. But I found that very intriguing, so I may list my garage.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be awesome. Or somebody else's garage. A band would show up. Hey, if you're having a wedding,
find your neighbors.
It would be awesome.
Find the neighbors good and bad, and make them perform as well. Right. So yeah, there's plenty of different things out there, and I think great. The idea that the matchmaking, like you said, the ability to connect with your community is so positive in this regards. And I'm looking forward to it.
Right. And if you're wondering, I want to find that right now. It's makemusicday.org online. You can go find that information while we're talking more.
Specifically, if you want to go to makemusicday.org/Long Beach, you'll find the Long Beach chapter.
That's great.
And then that'll give you more information, and that'll help you. It'll also link you to the registration platform.
Yeah. And while I was watching it this morning, first, I saw the venues in Long Beach. A couple of the Old Dubliners going to do something there.
Yep.
Billie Jean King Library. And then checked back an hour later, and it was another person had added the record store up here on 3rd Street. Wow, this is great.
Oh, yeah,
it's getting to pop. Footwork.
Yeah,
I just passed by and saw that they're involved too. So, I'm trying to think of ways in which we can be involved. We have a couple, 3 or 4 live shows on the same day, on Saturday. The 21st, and I'm asking them to invite a musician in to their show.
That's great.
As a way of solidarity, connecting with y'all.
That would be
and
super.
Also give us an opportunity for them to announce where the venues are during their shows.
Oh, yeah.
Because if they're pre-recorded, it's harder to do that. But I'd like to have people on the street, like down at Rootwork, if we can,
right?
Footwork, and have a microphone maybe, and then come over here and play that back on the air. Somehow make the city involved in it, and that's what we can do here at KLBP.
That's really great. We anything and everything to promote the day and just to make music. I think it's again really rad that you have a day just to celebrate the fact that anyone out there can make music.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be the biggest event, but it's not about how big it is. It's about how much noise you make.
Right.
Is that
exactly.
Right?
So. Hey, and if you're listening from the Long Beach Youth Chorus, we've got the folks over there connected. Get out and let's have a performance, maybe at the band shell in Long Beach or something.
Yeah.
Do a takeover. Don't
Absolutely.
file a permit. Just go over and do it live. How did you get involved with this organization?
Yeah, so I have a band. It's called One High Five. Mm-hmm. We played in 2018-19 in Fullerton, and I think here in Long Beach as well for like the 2019 show. It's always been on my radar. I always get the emails from the bigger alliance, and I somewhere in the last couple months, I was like, well, what happened to the Long Beach chapter? And I did some research and a simple email of like, hey, what can I do to take over leadership? And within a couple of days, they wrote back and said, hey, great that you want to join. And then within a week, I was like,
here are the keys. Good luck.
Yeah, there was a bit of that.
That's great.
There was a bit of that. So this
Thank
past couple months since I've taken over, there's been a lot of moving and shaking, a lot of meeting people that throughout the city, trying to get the city's involvement, hanging out with you here at KLBP, and trying to meet artists and venues and trying to get them to buy in to the potential of the day and to see what the day is.
Well, that's why I wanted you to come in so we could talk about it a couple of weeks in advance. On the other side of this wall is the Secret Island Tiki Bar, and I'm thinking we're connected, by the way, with one lever here. I could put them on the air. So it'd be awesome to get them involved and maybe being a venue host because they've got a stage. You couldn't put a band in here, this little teeny studio. Sure. It'd be awful hard. And hard to open it to the public, but next door. That might be sweet.
What I love about this day is what you're actually tapping into right now. Just the potential behind it all. So this year, getting into it, a couple weeks left, we're going to have a great Make Music Day, but I'm so looking forward to the potential of 2026 and having more people know what the day is about and having more buy-in from the city, some more lead time, and, better support overall. Yeah. And maybe a bigger team. Right now I'm doing this as a one-man show.
I feel you.
Yeah. So if there's anyone out there listening who wants to get involved or volunteer with me and help make this a great event for Long Beach to come, please reach out to me anywhere, anytime you can.
Well, stay close because I think there's a partnership here. We're discovering that. That would be awesome.
I'm ready for the hug.
You're ready. Your radio partner.
Yeah.
Because we can do what you're asking, which is let people know what's happening by putting it on the air, and hopefully we'll be able to do that. I always like live broadcasting, or at least recording stuff and running back to the station and airing it, saying this is going on right now.
Sure.
Head on down.
Yeah.
There's something immediate about radio that you can't get from streaming. You just can't. So that's why I'm excited about this day. I know in the past we've been involved, but like any organization that survived COVID, everything kind of shrunk.
Yeah.
So getting it back up to that speed, I feel you. That's kind of what we've been doing the last year here.
Wouldn't it be really cool to have like you guys having you being the day of kind of live broadcasting, keeping up with the public, what's going on,
There's a lot that we can get into.
Yeah.
Once a year, we get permission from the Pike to put a stage in front of the Ferris wheel.
Oh.
This could be the day. Could do that next. And 26, that would be awesome. Make it a big event. We did a small event there last year, and they all came out of the woodwork, all the execs, and were saying, we got to blow this up.
Right.
You need a major sponsor so we can get some lights, and because it was just us throwing a little street party.
Sure.
But that location, you can't beat it. As iconic in Long Beach. And it has a huge grass lawn, and all the food trucks are already there. So awesome if we can do that again.
I totally agree.
Make Music Long Beach. It's Saturday, June 21st.
Yes, I was going to say it happens annually on June 21st. This year happens to be a Saturday.
Oh, it doesn't always happen on Saturday.
No, my friend. So next year, I believe I was looking forward to Sunday next year.
Oh, wow.
In 2027, it could be Tuesday. But the most beautiful thing is, aside from the fact that you're just going to make music, is that there's the international community is gigantic. Again, 1,000 cities, 120 countries. I believe this year is sponsored by Make Music Lagos, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, no kidding.
So they have some great things coming from that country that they're kind of spearheading. I believe it's sponsored by them. But Make Music Day in general has so much backing to it. And June 21st annually, it's going to be a great thing.
And stay tuned here because we're going to give you the updates about all the venues that are signing on, because I know they're doing it now.
Sure.
And if you're a musician and want more information, we gave you the website. We'll give it again. It is makemusicday.org/Long Beach.
Correct.
That's great. To find out more information all about that. And David, thank you so much for coming on in and being a part of this show today. And I'm happy that we reconnected. And like I said, there's a future for us both here.
Perfect.
I can feel it.
Thank you for having me and supporting the cause.
You're welcome. It's Mornings on the Beach for your Saturday, Sunday mornings right here. Danny Lemos.
Mike Stark.
Melanie Ray.
And our final story today on the show is a first-person story I found on HuffPost. And it sort of puts a spin on what you normally think. And this is about a woman who got her Tesla defaced. And she wrote, I caught someone defacing my Tesla, and I couldn't believe what happened after I confronted them. So what happened is she was in her physical therapist's office, and the physical therapist said that, hey, somebody is out there hurting your car, keying your car. And she looked, and it was a guy with short cropped hair, chipped black polish on his nibbled nails, handcuffed earrings, and an oversized faded Pussy Riot t-shirt. And she went up and said, did you scratch my car? And he said, I didn't scratch it. Well, what did you do to my car? He said, I didn't scratch it. I just put a sticker on it. And they moved to the back of the Tesla, and she saw the swastika sticker on the bumper. And the guy said, I'm sorry, I'll take it off. He said, kneeling down. And she said, I bought this car thinking I was doing the right thing. I didn't know things were going to turn out this way.
Yeah.
And so she said, she would have made a different choice, of course, if she'd known the future, but she didn't. And I'm really sorry, was the response coming to the person who put the sticker on her car. And so she said, what do I do now? She said, do I yell at him? Do I threaten to call his parents? I took a breath and relaxed my stance. I get that you're frustrated, she said. I'm frustrated too. They looked up, a bit surprised that I was offering a moment of understanding rather than shaming them. I am. I'm really angry, they said. And she said, what's going on? And she said she started to talk about all of her years of Buddhist practice that wanted her to be really honest as much as she could. And she said, I know how feeling hurt and panic can make us do things that we might not normally do. So she was imbued by that spirit. And she said, if I could, I'd get my money back for this car right away. And I was so angry, she said, she was sort of frustrated as much as her, I want to say her attacker, but he was basically just putting a sticker on her
Vandal.
car. Yeah, her vandal. Can I give you a hug, is what the guy said to her.
Oh.
Can I give you, because she was beginning to talk about how she melted down over all of this stuff since it happened. And she said, I said yes, and I felt our bodies relaxing as we embraced. But they finally pushed away, removing the sticker, and they left, and I got into my car, and I sat quietly doing nothing for a moment. My heart generally went out to that kid. I obviously don't condone what they did, but I understand the anger that led them to do it.
Yeah.
Talk
Yeah.
about a way to handle. I don't know if I could be that, because I react.
Yeah.
Is that your response to something when somebody...
Human connections are our only hope.
I agree.
You know?
What a great way to make that connection, especially
Absolutely.
at that moment.
And now the Tesla truck owners, I think, are a different breed. But the Teslas,
I agree with you.
the Tesla cars, I wanted one too. I mean, it's a green car. That's what we want. We didn't expect.
Yeah.
Who saw this come? Well,
Nobody
okay.
did. I got to say,
Not
nobody
with Tesla, not with Musk anyway. But
I-
that's a beautiful story.
And I want to bring those kind of stories to the show because
Absolutely.
they show a different way of controlling yourself. And we all got to practice that more. We all go off on each other so quickly. So if there's a way for us to temper that back, and I think that's one way.
Well, in the system right now, the admin is trying to get us to go off. Right,
Yeah.
where they're needling us. That's why the National Guard is here. That's why the Marines are
of
coming
course.
out. Is because they want to bring up,
Taunting.
they want to boil it. They want to bring up that tension level. So those little communications kind of bring the temperature down a little bit every time.
Absolutely.
You know?
And if you're out there this weekend, especially Saturday, we're going to have an open house here at KLBP. People have been asking us about coming by and asking us, how do I get involved? So we're going to open the doors from 11 to 1.
And we'll show you.
That's on Saturday. And if you miss that, you'll see us on the streets this summer, all over Long Beach.
Yep.
And then next week is Make Music Long Beach, as we heard earlier.
Right.
And that's going to be going on Saturday the 21st. You can probably find us at Footwork Records over on 3rd and Elm, because they're going to have a little stage out there. So I figured we can go assemble over there for KLBP, if they'll let us. and then coming up at 10 o'clock today.
Well, today, Sunday, if you're listening on Sunday,
true.
is LA Radio Sessions. And ironically, we lost Brian Wilson this week, but I'd already planned a summer surf music special.
Oh, it's perfect timing.
Featuring the Beach Boys and the Ventures and Jan and Dean and the Shantays and
There's
all
nothing
sorts.
more summery than the Beach Boys.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So check that out. Some interviews, some rare interviews I did with Jan and Dean when they were both still with us. And good stuff.
Oh, that's great. That's coming up at 10 o'clock on Sunday here. In the meantime, thank you for joining us this weekend. If you can, find us on Facebook, Mornings on the Beach, Instagram, Mornings on the Beach, Blue Sky, Mornings on the Beach. Wherever you find us, there we are. And we hope that you will stay with us and come back again next week. I'm Danny Lemos.
I'm Mike Stark.
I'm Melanie Ray.
And we'll talk to you next weekend.
And we're going to go out with a Brian Wilson tune, a solo Brian Wilson tune. It's sort of a perfect song for the times we are living in right now. Love and Mercy.
Oy.